Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the new Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hand-to-Hand Fighters. That's right, these are the new electronic deluxe figures being released in the Nick Turtles lineup. I picked up both Michelangelo and the Shredder, so let's take a look at these guys. As you can see, they come in nice open box packaging, very similar to what we've seen with some of the other talking turtles that have been released in the past. You can see it does have that nice bright and colorful background there with the yellows and the greens that we're seeing on all of the current TMNT action figures. And then you have the ability to try out the sound effects right here with the open boxes. You can see that the Turtles and Shredder have sort of a button on their chest, which you can press to activate a noise, and they also have some other noises. It tells you right there, hit weapon and hit target on chest. So that way you can kind of play around with it right there in the store to get an idea of the sound effects that these guys make. And when you flip the boxes around to the back side here, we get a description of exactly how to use the hand-to-hand fighters. And on the bottom of the box, we get a look at some of the other figures available, which includes Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and the Shredder. So these are the figures that are available in this current series. Doesn't look like there's a Donatello. I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe it's because of the bow staff, or maybe he's just not pictured on the back of the box. Honestly, I am not entirely sure. I just grabbed Mikey and the Shredder, so that's who we're going to take a look at here today. So let's go ahead and get these guys opened up out of the box and check out how they work. Alright, so now we've got our hand-to-hand fighters outside of the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Very quickly, let's go ahead and run down the actual design of these figures before we start talking about the action features. Now, these guys are in a larger scale, so the figures stand at about the 6-inch scale mark, which means that they're quite a bit bigger than the basic figures. They actually stand in about the same height as the other sound FX figures that we had way back at the beginning of the lineup. So if you have Michelangelo here standing next to one of those sound effects figures, you can really see how he matches up in size to that, especially when compared to his basic action figure counterpart. It is much smaller. The design on the guys is actually really cool. So let's take a closer look at Michelangelo here first. Really great looking figure. I love the cartoon look we've got going on there. So he does have the much rounder face. He's got those very bright blue eyes that are painted in the mask. Great Michelangelo smile there. Overall, I really like the head sculpt on this guy. It is very, very cool. The overall design on the body is pretty much exactly what we would expect as far as like paintwork and everything goes. So he's got that lighter green shading, all of the knee pads, elbow pads, the wraps on his feet are all painted in a brown color. The wraps on his hands are painted white. So there's actually a really good variance in paint color here. The shell looks really nice on the back. Also, it looks like right here on the back of the shells, kind of where like the sound comes from. You don't have the little slit back there and everything. And of course, one of the big things that really stands out about this figure is the fact that he's wearing a stop sign around his neck. So you can see he's got a little red chain going around his neck. There's a little stop sign on his chest. This is actually the button on this figure. So I thought that was kind of a clever way to do it. All of the turtles seem to be wearing different things that actually are disguised as the button on these guys. So just something kind of fun with them. One thing to point out is that the right hand has the nunchucks molded into it. That's because this is part of his battle sound effects here. The left hand, he actually has removable nunchucks, so you can actually pop those out of his hand if you want to. And then he even has a place that you can store them in the back. He does have 2 spots for nunchucks, but you can only actually put one of the pairs of chucks back there if you want to do it. So we'll go ahead and set him aside for a minute. Let's go ahead and pull Shredder up so we can take a closer look at him here. Again, another great looking figure. He is really bulky though, and this is probably because of all of the electronics that are built into the figure, so you can see how huge his torso looks. It's not hidden as well on him. The Turtles, it works a little bit better because they have the shells, so it makes sense for them to be bulky. But looking at Shredder from the side, you can really see the bulk of his torso here. So he's kind of a bigger figure, but that's just for these action features. And the whole point of these guys is the action feature anyway. The articulation on these guys, by the way, I didn't really mention that. That's the same on pretty much all the figures here. So the heads can look left and right. The arms are ball jointed at the shoulders, so they can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. You do have a swivel at the wrist you can see here. And then the legs just have the hinge joints, so they can move forwards, backwards, and move outwards. It is the same with Michelangelo. And then the big key difference is actually going to be in the action feature on the right hand. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that now. Just like with Mikey, Shredder has got a weapon that's molded into his hand. Shredder has a sword, though. But this is what triggers their hand-to-hand combat stuff. You'll notice that the forearm on Shredder is a little loose on here, and the forearm on Mikey is the same way. You can actually kind of see the little rod on the inside there. It's kind of loose. That's because battling these guys with their weapons is what causes some sound effects. That's the whole hand-to-hand combat thing with these guys. So if you hit their weapons together, or just basically hit the weapons like this, you get some different sound effects from Mikey and Shredder. So let's check them out here. High 3! Really fun stuff there. It's got some great voices. It's got some nunchuck noises, some swooshing noises, stuff like that. And then when we get Shredder in here with a sword... So same with Shredder. You got some swishing noises. You got some blade sounds. I've got you now. You got a really evil sounding voice from Shredder. See, and it's kind of triggered just by like tugging on the arm or bashing the arm or anything like that. The whole point in that is because if you take these guys and you battle their weapons together like they're hitting weapons, it's going to make these sound effects. And then hitting the button on the chest, which on Shredder is a big red button with the foot logo on it, that's what actually causes him to sound like he's getting hurt. and he laughs too, apparently. And then Mikey, when we hit the stop sign there, awesome, right? So now you get the gist behind this. When they clink their weapons together, it makes some weapon noises, and they have sayings. When they get hit in the chest, it sounds like they're getting hurt. They're making oofs and offs noises. So, the whole point in these guys is to bash them together. That's right, come on. How many times have you seen kids taking their action figures and just bashing them together? How many times when we were kids did we make our toys fight like this? I think that is genius with these figures here, because that is exactly what these are designed for. They're designed for bashing into each other, but giving you sound effects at the same time. And then when they get hit in the chest, I love it. These are so much fun. And there you go, folks. That's pretty much the gist of it. Seriously, these are a lot of fun, and they're definitely designed for the play value. So these have the kids in mind, and I think that they are a lot of fun. The action features work really well. All you got to do is bash them together. I mean, it's that simple, and you get some really great little sound effects, and there's definitely a lot of play value with these guys. So these are a lot of fun. Like I said, they're available with the Turtles. You got Shredder there, so you can get them all teaming up against each other, banging them into each other, making lots of fun sound effects, and just having a lot of fun with these toys. These are on store shelves right now, so happy hunting, my friends. And hey, if you had fun, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, my friends.